also played Halo 3, Shadowrun. I think I know most people don't know about Shadowrun, but I played that competitively.
I've heard of
Um,
Shadowrun. Okay.
I won a couple events for the game. Actually, we were one of the best teams for that game. Period for MLG.
Really?
Yeah.
Shadowrun. Wait, they'll tell us a little bit about Shadowrun. Like it's only a game I've heard the title.
So Shadowrun was like the first game that I've seen, and I felt like the game was ahead of its time. To be honest, it was like a class-based shooter. There weren't too many games that were class-based shooters. Like you know how Overwatch is a class-based shooter. You pick a character or whatever, and they have all
Mm.
these skills. Shadowrun was like you had the elves, humans, and dwarves. Each class did something different. You know what I mean? So like the elves were the fastest class in the game, had the most magic. Because this game had uses magic as well. And the dwarves were like the shortest. There was obviously the dwarf. They had the second most health in the game. The second most magic in the game, but they couldn't regenerate their magic normally like everybody else can. They had to steal magic from other players by being next to other players.
Okay. So like you would say like each class had their strengths and weaknesses and they balance
Correct.
each other.
Like when you see the door, I mean not the other door, the troll was like this big tanky motherfucker. Like whenever you shoot him, spikes will come out of his body and he'll take way less damage. It'll take you like maybe 5 clips to kill him. You know what I mean? But they had, there was a little way to combat it. Like if the first shot is going to be normal, the second shot would be armored. So you had to like pace your shots because once the spikes come out, you have to wait for the spikes to go away. Unfortunately, when you're playing the shooter, he's going to shoot you back. So you
Right.
have to like shoot and run, shoot and run. So like the doors were able to beat the trolls because they could drain the magic, and the spikes required them to have mana. If you have no mana, there's no spikes,
Right.
and the doors would run up to them and just with a shotgun and just eat up their mana and just murk them. But I was like a troll's worst nightmare was a dwarf.
Okay. Yeah, walk us through like the mechanics, like the class system, elf,
Just
dwarf.
like any other shooters, you played Counter Strike, right?
Have you? Yeah, I mean,
I
like,
mean,
yeah,
most
I played
people
Counter
today,
Strike
most
before.
people today would know, they know Counter Strike.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah.
Counter Strike is you have to buy your weapons. So to start the round, everybody starts off with like 2,500 gold, and you can buy your gun, you can buy your magics, and you can buy technology. So this game uses a technology system like gliders, kind of like they're like jetpacks, but not really. They just when you jump off the building, you can glide. You know
So
what I mean?
they were kind of like added movement type
Yeah.
of.
So like if you press jump and hit and activate your glider, you jumped a little bit higher, and you're not falling down slow. You're falling down. You're not falling down fast. You're falling down slow.
I
So
see.
kind of like imagine yourself being Batman. You can jump off and just glide with your little bat wing, whatever
Oh,
you
I
want to
get it.
call that, the cape.
Yeah.
So that's what you had.
And the money. Let's not forget the money. But no, continue.
They also had this thing called like wire reflexes. So what it does is it enhances your character, make you move faster, and when you activate it, you kind of like become like Flash. You can like blitz really fast for a brief moment, but at the cost of your life. So every time you activate it, you lose life.
Hmm.
Also, when you have a katana, because you can buy a katana in this game, you can now block shots.
Hmm.
Like a
Not
gun.
every shot, but you can block shots. So if someone has a pistol, you'll block every single pistol shot. But if someone's mowing you down with a minigun, you'll block, maybe 20% of the shots. So you reduce their damage and whatever. This game had this bleed mechanic as well. One of the first game I ever seen with a bleed mechanic, where if you sneaked up behind somebody and you meleeed them with a katana, they bled, and when they're bleeding, you're slowly losing life over time. And the only way to stop the bleeding is by being resurrected. This game has a resurrect mechanic where if someone dies, you can bring them back to life, but at the cost of your mana. So now so this game had like little pips, little circles of mana. Like for example, the elf had like 13 of them, and if I resurrect someone, it uses up 4 of those slots temporary until that guy
Okay.
dies again.
So
Mm-hmm.
like mana bars kind of, and they have
Yeah, so
different
it
types.
uses up your bars of mana, right?
Mhm.
So if someone's bleeding, you can You can resurrect them and stop the bleeding. But if the guy who resurrected you dies, then you start to bleed.
Go right back to bleeding. Gotcha.
Your health does not regenerate in this game. You have to find what is called Tree of Life. You stand next to the Tree of Life, and it heals you over time. The Elf, on the other hand, was the only class in the game that can heal naturally as their passive. So they'll heal over time. But when you're healing, your mana's going down. So it drains your mana to heal.
Okay. Did every class have a passive?
Yeah. So the human passive was they don't get penalized for using technology. So whenever I tell you about the wire reflexes, when you have it equipped, it uses up 4 bars of your mana. Period. Like that's the slots. It uses up 4 bars.
Okay. Like
the humans didn't have that. They didn't care about the penalties for it because it was invented the technology.
I see. Okay. That's a okay.
Yeah. The dwarf has the armor, and the troll has the armor, and they're the slowest class in the game. And the dwarf has reduced headshots because they're so small. So they take reduced headshot damage. So in other words, you can't one-shot them with a sniper rifle because they take reduced damage.
Ooh, interesting. So they could play certain roles.
Yeah, so it's like one of those things where, like, and the reason it made sense why they did that because they were so short. All you can shoot is their heads.
Mm.
You know,
so
yeah, so that it kind of had to balance it out a little bit. And they drain magic. That's their other passive, which is, I'm telling you right now, that is one of the most broken things in this game is losing your magic. You have no magic in this game, you ain't shit. I don't care how much of a good shot you are, you ain't nothing. Unless you are using a sniper rifle and you're godlike with a sniper, then I'll give you that. You get a pass. You don't need magic. Use a crack shot, you know. But I played the game. We went to, like, it was me, a couple of my friends, Roy. We went to, like, New York. We dominated the event there. Like, we were so ahead of the curve. It was ridiculous.
Oh damn! You know what was the event? You know?
I forgot the name of it, but it was MLG. We went to the MLG, and what sucks about the game is that they didn't have LAN, so you still had to play online. But you played over there online in they had like a little setup, so you can play.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So we went there. We played against like Final Boss. We destroyed Final Boss. We destroyed Carbine, but they weren't called Carbine, but there were members from Carbine that was there. It was just free. It was super free. Walshy was the only player I remember at the time that used a troll. No one used a troll because at the time they're considered a really bad class. That's because they were slow. They're so big. You can shoot them from any angle. You know what I mean? Like they're just so bad.
Right.
But
who was your class? I didn't want to ask. Like, what was
I played an elf. Elf to me I just love the fact that I can just constantly teleport. So this game has teleport. Let's talk about that real quick.
Teleport in any game is being.
You can teleport the direction you're moving. So if you're moving forward and you press teleport button, you teleport. I think it's like 7 meters forward. So if the wall is not that thick, you can teleport through that wall.
Gotcha. So
but it uses up 3 bars of your magic. So once you teleport, you have to wait for the bars to recover, and teleport goes on a cooldown, like a 2-second cooldown, which ain't nothing. Which means you can
really? It's not nothing. That's cheap.
So as an elf who has like the most magic in the game, I could teleport 6 times in a row. As a human, you can teleport 3 times because you have the least amount of magic in the game. And the reason why I could teleport 6 times is because by the time I use my 4th one, I already have regenerated enough mana to do another one.
So would you say the elf would that make the elf the most mobile class? Because you get
they're not only they have the least amount of HP though. So that's their thing is that they don't have much health. One shotgun shot, you're probably dead.
Gotcha.
But they are the most mobile class in the game. They're the fastest, period. And they have the ability to regenerate their own health. So they can run away and just hide in the corner and heal up and come back out. And they're a nuisance.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, scout.
Yeah. So I played that, but Walshy was the first guy that took the troll to the competitive level. He was playing what's called a ninja troll. And that, like, to me, when I heard ninja troll, that shit is scary as fuck when you see a troll with wire reflexes running after you. See, the troll has
the slowest class chasing you. How does that work?
Well, wire reflexes uses up health, right? When you activate it, it gives you that boost of movement speed. And he blitzes you at the cost of health. Now, the troll has the strongest melee attack in the game. So, in other words, if they cut you once with a katana, you're pretty much dead. I mean, as an elf, you're dead. And most people played elf. Elf was like the best class in the game at the time. So, his strategy was to block your shots with the katana and run you down with the katana.
Okay. It reminds me of something from the Titanfall. The shotgun and the stim pack. The stim boost. Tax knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a Titanfall person too.
You were Titanfall head too. Why weren't you? Wait, were you in the sessions? All right, now that's another. That's another.
I don't have the game, so get me the game. I'll play with y'all. I'll borrow you real quick.
This man says that, and then next you know, he has a grapple hook.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, man, it was dope. Yeah. He created it. Unfortunately for him, Roy plays the dwarf class, and the way we played the game was we made sure. So at the beginning of the round, you can give your teammates gold if you wanted to, like your
okay,
money.
It's like a
So our strategy was to make sure Roy on the first round had his max loadout. Roy used to carry us for the first 3 rounds of the game. So he would get everything he needed, from the minigun, teleport, to the Tree of Life, everything that he needed, we gave him. So it's 5 people on the team.
Okay.
We all gave him like 2,000 gold.
So you start the game with 2,000 gold. And
yeah, the humans start off with 2,500.
Right. They always get more money.
Yeah, they're the only class that can get teleport in the first round. That's how much teleport costs, 2,500.
So one of you guys in your team was a human, or everybody?
Yeah, we had 2 humans, an elf, which is me, and a dwarf. So they will give all their gold to Roy. I'll give all my gold to Roy, and Roy will buy everything that he needs to buy, and he'll be already fully loaded out on the first round. Well, most people will have like a pistol or something generic. You know what I mean? He'll be doing all kinds of crazy stuff.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, Roy has a clutch factor from just watching him play Rogue. I was like, all right. Thought it was just smash.
So you play Rogue. Imagine in Rogue if I can give you my gold in the first round.
Right.
You'll buy all your perks, right? So imagine starting the game with all your perks. That's exactly what we did to. That's what we did to Roy. Yeah, that's what we did to him, and he'll dominate. And he'll carry us for the next few rounds, and then he'll give us all his gold. From that point on, all his gold belongs to us because he already got everything he needs. He don't need gold anymore.
Right.
So he'll just give us the gold, and then we'll start from there.
They do that in Rogue, man.
Oof.
I'm like, let me just buy this revival thing, and then from there, y'all have my money.
Let me tell you what, boy. That'll be dope. But yeah, that's enough of Shadowrun. It's much as I love that game, it's a thing in the past.
Right.
Damn.
But like I said, it was
broke your heart.
It was ahead of its time in terms of being a class shooter.
Right.
It was the first of its kind. The game came out like when Halo 3 came out, Shadowrun came out. So that's how old the game is.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because was that launch for 360?
I don't know if no, it wasn't launched for 360. I think it was Gears that was launched for 360.
I'm trying to remember when Halo 3 came out. Wasn't that like 07?
I mean, let's see. Power of Google. So is it Shadowrun Chronicles or Shadowrun?
Shadowrun on Xbox 360.
Okay.
And for those of you who know who Shadowrun is, It's actually an RPG game.
Oh yeah, Shadowrun Xbox 360 autofill. Thanks,
Yeah,
Google.
it was
2007.
Right.
it was never meant to be a shooter. On the thing was is that when they acquired the IP for Shadowrun, that company all they did was shooters. So they were like, well, let's make this into a shooter. And that's one of the reasons why the game didn't do so well is because can you imagine making
Yeah.
what the hell just happened?
Wait, stop sharing the screen. You're fucking shit up.
Oh,
I can do it.
technical difficulties. Oh, okay. I was gonna.
So like
There you go.
imagine seeing like Final Fantasy become a shooter. Like fans would be so upset.
So okay, so you're saying the game was intended to be more of a like your typical MMO style, or
Yeah, that's what Shadowrun originally. Shadowrun's always been a RPG. That's why you have the elves, humans, and dwarves, different classes.
but they added a shooter element. So then,
So when the company acquired the
Oh, that's
IP,
blurry.
the only people that they had working for them in that company were all people who developed shooters. So they were
so
like, "Well, let's make it a shooter." And to me,
okay,
it was a great shooter as a player, a person who plays shooters. But for the original fans of the Shadowrun, they were like, "Fuck this game! It's trash because it's not what we liked.
right?
Right.
Because
It's not Shadowrun. What the hell is this? It's garbage." And so because it had that stigma tied to it, it didn't do too well. But it was the first game that was cross-platform as well.
wow,
Yeah,
I
because you
did
can
not
also
know.
play with like Windows.
Yeah, Windows Vista. Remember that?
Good old
Good
Vista.
old Vista.
I see what you mean. I actually do see what you mean now because we have games now that's like Valorant, and like you said, Overwatch that now combines having skills or magic abilities along with the shooting element,
Correct. I
and
mean,
that's been
even Rogue Company has that.
yeah. And then but now we have this game. It came out in 2007, and kind of sounded like it happened by accident. Like you said, you
Yeah,
took a MMO fantasy RPG IP and you combined it with a studio that really only knew how to make shooters. You get Shadowrun.
yeah. A hidden gem. That's what I call it. One of those hidden.
Indeed.
Yeah. You know what sucks is because after we won the first year of MLG for that game in 2008, MLG decided to take the game out the circuit, and me and my team had just got sponsored.
Ooh.
We got sponsored by Exile Gaming. It's a European company, and it's like
Wow.
the sooner we get sponsored and we start doing our training, a month later they decided
The
to take
game
the game
died.
out and I'm like, yo, you got. I was so pissed and like hurt because all this like I put my blood and sweat, and tears into this game, and they just pulled the plug on it the next following year.
Damn.
So I was like, all this training, all this practicing, because I used to do drills, man. Like, I'll take my team and we'll I'll put them to drills. Like, this is how we're supposed to do these runs. This is to teleport, all the frames and all the stuff that we had to do. And like, if you do this jump and hold backwards, you can teleport in this awkward ass place when you cross somebody up. So I was teaching my teammates all the tricks that I knew and stuff like that. We was just drilling that stuff to each other, and I'm like, fuck, I could have been using all this time to play Halo 3 instead. And so when I went back to play Halo 3, I was behind the curve. I was still a good shot, but I was behind the curve, and I wasn't good enough to be in one of the big teams. But I did practice with straight ripping. Me, Fatal Matt, and some of the other guys. We practiced and we played with straight rippings, like practice team.
Mm.
So how long would you say was your Shadowrun career? Yeah. Like from beginning.
Since release of the game. So when the game first came out, I played it and I liked it. I didn't understand the game, right? Because you have to. This is a different type of shooter, right? You have to. Most shooters, you look left, right. That's it. Left, right, and watch your black. In this game, you gotta know if your opponent's coming from underneath you, from above you, because you can teleport. So it changes the dynamic of the game altogether. So what
Okay.
you know from a conventional shooter is gone.
Right.
So
So it took me a
what
while
year?
to adjust to that.
No, I'm sorry. I was gonna ask, like, what year did Shadowrun? Did they pull the plug on Shadowrun? I mean,
Uh, the 2008.
2008. Okay,
It's the
so
same year they took out Smash Brothers Melee.
Yeah, Melee was
also
because
from
there
MLG.
was a collusion thing with Melee, if I remember
No,
correctly.
no, it's I think it was Brawl. Brawl had the collusion.
Yeah, yeah. Oh
Wait,
yeah,
I don't
no.
remember Brawl going to MLG at all. I remember
Yeah,
Yeah,
it did.
Melee.
It did.
they
No,
did.
no,
It
Brawl did.
was Mewtwo King
That
and
was a
somebody
new feature.
else.
Yeah, that was like one of the first, if I can recall, the first Smash collusions that happened on like a pro stage. Yeah, I think it was like
I
the
remember one of the reasons why they took out um, Melee was because Brawl was coming out,
Right,
so
right, right, right. Yeah,
they
yeah.
swapped. Yeah, they weren't gonna have two of the same game, so that's the reason why Melee got taken out, which is the biggest mistake MLG I feel they've done as a company. They should have kept Melee.
yeah.
Are they still like in business? Like,
MLG, oh yeah, if I'm not mistaken, they still do tournaments.
Yep. They still do Halo tournaments.
Yeah,
That's
and COD.
hmm
Yeah.
shooters, mostly shooters.
all right. Well, thanks for that tidbit. I learned a lot about Shadowrun. Shit, my boy George was talking about it, but I never played it. He swore by that game. He's like, "Yo, man, Shadowrun." Oh, I was like, "All right, well,
Yeah.
shit. All right, it's legit."
Yeah. If you one of those like unconventional shooter type of guys, if you play Titanfalls, that's unconventional shooting.
Right.
And even Titanfalls, that's the game you gotta watch all your all angles, right? Because people come from all angles in that game because of the whole grappling thing, the wall jumps, and the double jumps, and all that stuff. So you just gotta be on your toes. Yeah, I think for you, if you played the game, you'll enjoy it. You probably won't like it as much because it's so outdated.
I feel like we all have. I
I
think
don't know.
we
Yeah,
we
because
grew up on that. So like,
yeah, like I think what was
Well,
it? A
you
couple
know,
years ago we were running Perfect Dark on the rare replay. We was getting it in
yeah.
on that. So
I mean,
double
that's
oh
that's
007,
that's
Nissan
nostalgic
Carbon.
at its best. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So you can never you can't get mad at Perfect Dark, and the movement in that game is so ridiculous. You can move so fast in Perfect Dark. Do you guys use the C buttons to move?
oh, now we were playing on the Xbox One,
Yeah.
that version.
Oh, the
So,
one with the they first introduced infection in that game, right?
well, nah, so it was the original, but it was on like Xbox One controllers. That's all.
Oh, they modified the controls to
Yeah,
play.
because they did Perfect Dark Zero, and then they had to actually patch the controls for Zero. So we didn't play Zero because the controls were like bad, but then they patched them to make them better later.
That's I gotta try that out. That's interesting. I didn't even know that existed. Look at that.
Yeah, it's
Learn
crazy.
something new. Yeah, no.
Yeah. To original point, we are not deterred
Yeah,
by.
no.
What I mean by old school or outdated is the fact that every game now has a slide mechanic, right? There is no slide mechanic in that game because it's not from the era of the slide.
Oh no, that's fine.
Oh, the movement. Okay, the mechanics of the game itself is outdated, like from your conventional shooter today.
Yeah, correct. You know what I mean? You're not gonna move as crisp as before. The gravity in that game is a little bit lower than a little bit different from the other games like there are today, but the teleporting itself makes up for it, right?
Yeah, if we can
Yeah.
figure out playing it, I'd be down to play.
Yeah, we're up. Get
They
poke
actually
the
recently had a
old heads.
tournament. About 3 months ago, they held an online tournament for the game, and I watched it. And the commentator was one of my boys. I'm like, yo, he's still playing this fucking game.
Damn.
That might have been a sign to reach out. Who knows, man? Hey, that could be your call sign, your bat signal
Nah,
to
hell no.
return.
I can never go back to that again. As much as I love, I can't. Nah,
That happens.
I'm not the shot that I used to be. That's for sure.
Sounds like the
And
Rocky.
Rico,
Rocky.
no, I got a decent shot. I'm pretty good, but uh, I'm terrible now compared to what I was. Let's call
Yo,
them,
man, Rocky
them
montage.
old man hands, bro. I'm 33, man.
Damn, you old ass hamburger, bro. Damn. Hamburgers that old still around.